Okay, on all these, we're going to find the domain. What are all the numbers we can plug in? So on this one, let's just work through it with square roots. All this on the inside here has to be positive. So for us to figure out when all that is positive, what we're going to have to do is first set it equal to 0. Once we set it to equal to 0, we're going to factor. Okay, it's going to be helpful with this if we can, when we set that equal to 0, put our answers on a number line. Okay, so our numbers are going to be what? 0?
0, -4, and 1.
2, 3, and positive. So what we've plotted so far is when the square root will be 0. And that's the only time any numbers we plug in, 1, 0, and -4. Those are the only numbers we plug in and we get 0. Okay, what we want to figure out is in between these intervals, we got to figure out what they're positive or negative. So remember, we're going to plug in a number first less than -4. All right, so let's just pick an easy one, -5. If we plug in a -5 here, that's a negative. -5 plus 4 is a negative. And -5 minus 1 is a negative. So a negative times a negative times a negative is?
Negative. Thing is negative.
Next, from -4 to 0. Let's plug in a number. Let's plug in -2. So that's -2. -2 plus 4 is positive. And then -2 minus 2 is negative. So a negative times a positive times a negative is a negative. Okay, now we need to plug in a number between 0 and 1, like 1/2. Alright, so 1/2, that would be positive, right? 1/2 plus 4 is still positive. 1/2 minus 1 is a negative. Something messed up, didn't it?
Yeah. The one, it should be positive instead of negative.
Would it be a positive between?
This first one should have been, sorry, let's back up.
Because he didn't.
This should have been positive, right? Negative times a positive times a negative.
Yeah.
Okay, going back to 1/2, if we plug in 1/2, we get positive, positive, and that is a negative. And the last one, if we plug in a number bigger than 1.
3.
Alright, that'll be positive. 3 plus 4 is positive. 3 minus 1 is positive. Okay, whoops, wrong place. Sorry about that. Okay, so what we want to say is, where are all the positives? It's super easy to look at that and figure out where the positives are. Like you can point, here's all the positives. When we write it in interval notation, from -4 to 0, including -4 and 0, and from 1 to infinity.